On this episode of Out of the Box Gaming, we bathe in the nostalgia of childhood gaming. So power up your favorite handheld console, press play, and enjoy gaming with us.
What's up, gamers? Welcome to Out of the Box Gaming. I am your host, Nick Ricard, and I am joined by a man who loved to play games over the summer when he was young, Will Kinsey.
I did. I think we all did.
Oh, absolutely. If you're joining us for the first time or for the 52nd time, we want to welcome you. We are a gaming podcast where we talk about all types of games like video games, board games, card games, and forgot that, sometimes we get special guests on here and we, learn about their story, their journey into gaming and all that. And you may ask yourself, why are you going to talk about this? Because we want to, and we think that we have something to say that you may want to hear.
That's right, everyone. We want to share our love of games with you and possibly introduce you to something new.
If you want to catch us live, you can do that by going over to twitch.tv/AceKingKing on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And we are also joined this morning by our wonderful producer, Lindsay.
Hey, that's me.
Lindsay.
Hey, guys.
We need to start coming up with a fun little thing to say about Lindsay as well.
Yeah.
Also, guys, be sure to check out our Discord because we want to hear from you. So feel free to drop topic ideas and discussion questions that you'd love for us to talk about. This can be done by joining our Discord, obviously, and going on over to the topic ideas and discussion questions text channel.
Yep. And this episode is a little special, and it's dedicated to Starlight Children's Foundation. When you're young, summertime is for playing all day. Unfortunately, there are thousands of seriously ill children who are spending their summers in the hospital, maybe because of injuries or because of I just lost all my words because I went off script. That's why. Or because of a disease. That's yes. A summer without play doesn't feel like summer at all. That's why they are on a mission to fund 500 innovative Starlight's gaming stations, bringing playtime and entertainment to hospitals across the country. I think they've got like 800 plus hospitals and medical facilities in their network. So we are raising money for this wonderful foundation right now as we record this episode live on Twitch. If you are listening to us later on YouTube or on your favorite podcasting app and would like to donate at a later time, you can head over to www.starlight.org and click the big pink donate button in the top right corner of the page. You can also get more information about them there.
Yeah. And also, I think Lindsay's ready with a trivia question for this episode.
Yeah.
Yay!
I got one.
Sweet.
Today's trivia question's a little different. It's not necessarily gaming related. I wanted to do a question that was related to Starlight Children's Foundation because that's what we are about today.
Yes.
My question. Okay. How many smiles have been delivered since 1982? Meaning, how many children have they been able to help since the organization started in 1982? An estimated number will work.
Okay. I have no idea.
I didn't know if you'd already looked at the website and saw that.
No, I mean, I've looked at the website and stuff, but I don't think I've looked at that or saw that, so.
That's what, 39 years of smiles?
Sure,
Something like
that math sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. That is a phenomenal question you have for us today, Lindsay. If you guys at home want to think about that question, we're going to come back to it at the end of the episode. We'll give our answer, and then we will hear the correct answer, and maybe a little bit about Starlight again.
Yeah. So today's episode is dedicated to Starlight, and whenever I was contacted about doing a charity stream, I wanted to make a podcast episode on it, and I was trying to think of what can we do that would like fit the theme of the whole, playtime of the summer. I'm like, oh, we'll do summer games. And then it got me thinking of what gamers normally would be doing over the summer. So normally during the summer, people would be on vacation, and you aren't always home to be able to play your PC or consoles. You're always on the road. So as gamers, we would play on our handheld devices like the Game Boy Advance, or SP, DS, 3DS, all those. So our episode for today, we're going to be talking about handheld games and consoles. So
I guess that looks differently for kids nowadays. They can just take their Switch with them.
yeah, because Switch, is the like home console and or handheld. So
Yeah.
they can take that anywhere.
We didn't have the luxury of just packing up our Wii or our GameCube because you had to have a TV to go with it.
Yeah. Though
Actually-
I will say, I remember in 4th grade, I went on a cruise with my dad and sisters, and my aunt and uncle and 2 cousins also went on that cruise, and my cousin packed up his GameCube and brought it with him on the cruise. And we did play a couple hours in the room on the GameCube.
Oh my goodness, you're wasting a cruise on the GameCube.
They hold on, no, but they also had an arcade on that ship.
Have to point out, there is an attachable screen for GameCubes.
Oh,
that you
yes,
can
there
put
is.
onto your GameCube and use it as its own thing. Obviously, you still need power, but I'm pretty sure they made modules for it. There was like an attachable battery pack that you could like slam on the underside of your GameCube. It was very modular. It was like a massive DS that had a flip open screen.
Yeah.
So you could technically have an on-the-go GameCube
I forgot about this.
and just be the coolest kid on earth.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
But no,
I never had a GameCube.
But there was also an arcade on that cruise ship, and I did spend time there.
Well, yeah.
So.
I imagine the GameCube, like, it wasn't that heavy or anything.
No.
And you could easily pack it.
And
But I felt like a lot of, like, and I don't know when they started doing it, but a lot of, like, hotel TVs, they would block the ports you needed to plug in, things like that.
yeah.
So you couldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And also, like, Nintendo knew what they were doing with the GameCube, because on the back of it, there was, like, that half sphere plastic piece. It was a handle that easily just carry around. So
I mean,
I think that was on the back of the GameCube, right? That I remember? Or am I just making something up? Okay.
No, that was back in the
Okay.
GameCube. That's also what you slotted your screen onto. It had a nice little and you. Bloop.
I didn't know about the whole battery pack thing you said you put on the bottom. I had the attachment thing.
I think it was a battery pack. That might not have been a thing. I know I've seen pictures of this massive thing that people slam into the bottom of their GameCube.
I had that. I had the thing that you put on the bottom of the GameCube, but it was able to play Game Boy Advance games on the GameCube.
Okay,
that's what I
might have
had.
been the thing.
So,
but I feel like also consoles were smaller then. Like, no way in heck I'm carrying my PS5 with me
no.
anywhere.
But a PS1? PS1s were tiny.
Yeah, PS1s were tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I stand a little bit corrected, but I also stand by my statement because not a lot of hotels would let you plug them in. I remember trying to bring like a DVD player. They wouldn't let you plug it in. But anyway. So what did we carry with us during the summer?
I mean, during the summer.
As a kid, I remember carrying around a bag full of jacks, and we'd play out in the street. And, oh no, that was a little bit
too?
Maybe.
No, I went through so many different handheld games, and I know on our first episode of the podcast when we talked about like the very first game that we ever played, I said that the first game I played that I remember is Tetris on the original Game Boy, and that was a handheld game, and that was one that my dad had. The original Game Boy was what, it came out in '89, so, and I wasn't born yet at that point, but my dad did have that, and that was the start of my gaming. It was with a handheld system, so, but yeah, I never had like the original Game Boy. I had a Game Boy Color, That was the first one that I had. We actually have a Game Boy Color here today.
Yeah. My Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
It still works.
And, I mean, we'll go into a game. This is my Pokemon Yellow. That
Nice.
still, and I'll pull it up.
Oh, the sound of.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you probably couldn't hear it because the mic probably wouldn't pick up something.
Oh, I heard it.
Oh, you did? Okay. Oh gosh, all the nostalgia of that. But as you go, and this wasn't even too long ago. I don't know if you can see. There's continue. The save thing, the save battery that you talked about, a couple episodes ago or something. Will yeah, it still works.
That's surprising.
So, but yeah, that like Game Boy Color was my first handheld. I don't really remember a lot of games during that time. I mean, Pokemon, obviously, I do remember. I know there was this one was one of my favorite games. I know I'm just kind of like running around. Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. That was one of my favorite games to play on the Game Boy Color.
We actually currently own 2 copies of that because I had one.
And I had one. And then I think I remember, so a story of just, I remember being, over the summer, I think we're just traveling somewhere. My sisters also had a Game Boy Color. And we would fight over who got to play, I think it was Pokemon Pinball. That was on the Game Boy Color. I want to make sure it was on there. Pokemon Pinball.
See, I had much different games.
Pokemon Pinball was a Game Boy Color game, and my sister and I, we would fight over who got to play that.
Was it just pinball with Pokemon? Pokemon themed pinball?
Well, that came out in 99. Oh man, I thought it came out earlier than that. Where was that? Well, Game Boy Color came out in 98. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't remember much of it. I just know that we fought over playing it. I do remember that. Yeah, sorry. I mean, that's mostly what I remember from the Game Boy Color. Is just a couple of those games.
Kirby Tilt and Tumble, I think is what it was called.
Oh.
Was one of my favorites for the Game Boy Color. Now, I'll say that and preface it by saying that I never had a Game Boy Color.
Mm-hmm.
My first handheld console was a Game Boy Advanced, which I might actually have in a drawer right here. Give me 2 seconds.
I'm trying to remember what all games I had. Oh, you still? Oh, nice.
So the purple translucent, so you can see all the cool stuff inside. And I've got my Pokemon Gold.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, this was my first ever handheld console right here from when I was 7 years old. That's my baby.
Which one was that again?
I actually had the Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance.
The purple see-through one. But I had mostly Game Boy Color games for it because they were cheaper than the Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the difference. So yeah, Kirby Tilt and Tumble and then all the Pokemon games. Those were mostly my experience on Game Boy Color games. And they were played on that guy.
Right now, I'm just looking through a list and see if there's any games that I remember from Game Boy Color. I feel like most of the games I've had or played was Game Boy Advance. But I do know. Well, I'll go over that later. Did I have a Toy Story? No, I had that for 64.
My only handheld was the Game Boy Color until much later in life, probably in college, when I bought a 3DS. But see, I was on the other end of those games. I never played Pokemon. I did, however, play the crap out of Barbie Pet Rescue.
Oh, snap.
Rugrats in
She
Paris.
actually played a little of Barbie Pet Rescue the other day,
Yeah, I
and
did.
she saved three animals.
I saved 3 animals. Rugrats in
okay.
Paris game I hated because I could never beat the dang thing. It frustrated me. And I started playing it the other day and it frustrated me again. I did, however, have the Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. I played the crap out of that. My sister had one too. She had the purple see-through one.
Nice.
She had
Quality.
Frogger. I enjoyed the
Ooh.
Frogger. And she had Cyber Tiger, a Tiger Woods golf game. And I also had Scooby Doo Classic Creep Capers. Not crepe. Creep Capers. I played that one a lot too. Mia Hamm, you remember her? She had a soccer shootout game. This was one of my sisters. And she also had Camelot Quest in a special case.
Oh wait, I got that confused for Quest for Camelot.
Oh wait, it is Quest for Camelot. Sorry. Yeah.
Yo, that's gold right there.
So I was looking through a list, and apparently, like, one of the, I don't even know what this list was for, but it was like number 1. And I actually have the game, and I don't remember ever playing it. If I did, it was very little.
Was that yours?
Yes, this was mine.
Okay.
And it is Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages.
Oh, I don't know if I ever played Oracle.
I don't really remember doing. I probably played like a little bit whenever I was younger. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this right now. So I don't remember much of it.
See, this was like when I was so not knowledgeable about games. I thought that like Quest for Camelot had Zelda in it. Cause I just heard Zelda and I was like, oh, I must have that game. We did not. I should play Quest for Camelot.
Is it based on the movie?
I guess so. It says Warner Brothers. There was a
Awesome,
movie?
Yeah. Oh, dude. If you have never seen Quest for Camelot, like, you gotta watch it. It probably doesn't hold up because it's older than I am, but that movie was great. So good. Kids these days don't have movies like that. That's why they're all terrible.
Well, yeah.
That's a joke.
But is it?
Let's see.
Yes.
Man, I want to.
But yeah, that was really my extent of like Game Boy Color. What are we even? We just said favorite games.
I feel like it's so hard to see the screen.
Yeah, it is. Which
Has it got?
Which we'll move on to the Game Boy Advance.
We have a light for
because
it.
I remember whenever
my sister. This was my sister's. We would fight over it. I don't know why she got one and I didn't.
I remember with the Game Boy Advance, it was also hard to see the screen. That I had one of the lights that flap down over it, and you can just pull
over
it.
ones.
Yeah, the fold over that.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I have more memories with the Game Boy. Actually, I don't know if it's more memories with the Game Boy Advance. Maybe.
The clamshell, I guess is what you could call it, the clamshell light.
Wait, yes, I do have very good memories with the Game Boy Advance because what? I was just trying to get in there.
Our cat is in the bag.
One of my all-time favorite games of a handheld was on the Game Boy Advance, and it was Fire Emblem. And I was looking up, and I can actually play it online, and I know I can do an emulator and all that stuff to play it. And the first time I ever saw Fire Emblem was over the summer. We're at my dad's lake house, and we had a bunch of my family, come in from up north, come to visit, and they would just stay there. And I had 2 of my cousins both playing on their Game Boy Advance, and they were playing Fire Emblem. And I was just kept asking, what are you playing, just kind of watching, and I was like, oh man, I want to play this game. So I ended up getting that game, and then later Fire Emblem, I think it was Sacred Stones or something like that. It was the second one that came out. And And I was like, oh man, and my cousin told me that there was another one for the Game Boy Advance, but it was only in Japan. So I went online and I ordered that one, and it came in, and that's whenever I learned that Japanese version of games are so much harder than like what we get. That Fire Emblem game was so fracking hard. Not just because I couldn't read what was going on. I played the Fire Emblem game so much I knew where everything was, so I knew how to navigate. But it was just the difficulty was so hard compared to the other Fire Emblem games.
Oh yeah, yeah. They really crank it down for us.
Yeah.
Silly Americans.
This Quest for Camelot still has the saved game.
Um,
Now on the Fire Emblem ticket, we've talked about this a little bit before. In fact, I think we talked about it on the last episode. But Advanced Wars. Advanced Wars came out for the Game Boy Advance and was very much like Fire Emblem, just with modern technology.
Hmm.
And it's getting a revamp. They're remastering 1 and 2, and I think another one, but 1 and 2 is the important stuff. Um, that was that was one of the biggest things for me when I was a kid, which I know we talked about it last episode. And my roommate Ron mentioned before I even came in here that you got to mention Advanced Wars because that was just such a good game. You know, along with Fire Emblem, they're
yeah.
very much in that same realm. Um, but for some reason, Advanced Wars was the one that me and all my friends when we were kids, like I said, on field trips, whatever, we were always playing that, passing someone's Game Boy around. It was just such a good game. The Game Boy Advance was really just phenomenal in some of its co-op and multiplayer games,
Uh,
and
I
it's sometimes
never,
very annoying.
I never played it. I mean, I had Game Boy Color, and then the next thing I got was a Wii. Whenever that came out,
Another game with the Game Boy Advance
2012.
that I remember, and I had a lot of fun with it. And it was because it was, off one of my favorite shows when I was younger, Rocket Power Dream Scheme. It just,
Yeah.
I just liked it because, hey, it's Rocket Power.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there was another Rocket Power.
Chances are, if I had had that handheld, I would have ended up with that game.
Let's see, Zero Gravity was another one. I'm trying to remember if I remember that one as much. I don't know if I did this one. I may have. It was Rocket Power Zero Gravity Zone or something like that. And then obviously, how could I forget about this? It was the Dragon Ball. What was it? It was a Dragon Ball Z game. There was like 2 of them.
Yeah, Legacy of Goku. I was
Yes.
just about to mention them.
Yes.
They were so amazing. I love those games.
Yeah. And then there was also, I remember they had a Dragon Ball Z trading card game that you could play. They had a Game Boy Advance version of the physical thing.
I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure that was the thing.
That's pretty cool.
Card game. What was it? Oh yeah, it was a Dragon Ball Z collectible card game. Maybe if it will load. Yeah, collectible card game. I remember playing that. I didn't know how to play the card game at the time, but I figured it out by playing that game. And I don't think it gave you a tutorial. If it did, I don't think I did it. But I learned just from playing the games and seeing what was going on. I learned how to play. I don't know how to play now though, because I know there's still that physical game like out there. I don't know how to play it.
Yeah. I think I ended up with a couple of random Dragon Ball Z cards over time that I never bought. I just got them from people's collections of other cards.
Yeah. But that would be the Legacy of Goku is one that I would definitely go back and play.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking about going to my grandparents' house and getting my games now.
um, which I know I didn't say this. So yesterday, I did tell you, but yesterday, with the first day of the charity stream, I did a ranking of a tier list of the Nintendo console handhelds, and I want to try to pull up that list if I can. Nintendo.
There were so many.
Yeah, there was a lot.
So many.
Yeah, okay, yeah, this was it. So I put Game Boy Advance at S tier for me because I played so many games on it, and that was a lot of my childhood. But that wasn't even the one that I had like at the most where I know I played majority of those games. Like, would you know what one I played the most, Will? Out of all the Nintendo handhelds?
The systems?
Yeah,
The one you played the most?
yeah. It's not a
I
crazy
would say
one.
either your Game Boy Advance or your Nintendo DS,
It
possibly
was
3DS.
it was the DS because the Nintendo DS, the original one of the one that I had and I played so much of, you could play the DS games and it still had it where you could play the Game Boy Advance games. So I still played. That was like the one I had. I was able to play all my Game Boy Advance games and I played all the new DS games. That was by far my favorite handheld system that they came out with. And it was at one point where wasn't it a part of the DS line where they took out the Game Boy Advance thing where you couldn't play that.
I think so.
Yeah, I was like, no, I want to keep the one I have. Yeah.
I don't know for a fact, but I want to say that my 3DS XL back in the day didn't have an advanced cartridge slot. But I don't know if that's true. My new 3DS, which I have lent to a friend, it's not actually it's a 3DS. I think it's called the Nintendo 2DS. It's the scaled down version that doesn't flip open. It's
Yeah.
like it was like $80. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I love it.
I'm really sad
Oh,
I
It
didn't have
doesn't
my 3DS.
it doesn't have a slot for Game Boy cartridges or whatever.
The
But you can
3DS
buy
doesn't.
all of the Game Boy games.
The
3DS
3DS
didn't have it either.
no, they didn't have
Okay,
it. It was
okay.
just I feel like in it was in the DS the DS line. It was one of those that just stopped doing it.
They don't even make 3DSs anymore, do
No,
they?
they don't.
It's only
Wow,
the
really?
Switch and the Switch Lite.
Kind of sad.
Let's see.
Yeah, it is. I hate that I sold my 3DS. It was pink. I knew.
Mine
Okay,
was
so
a dark brown chocolate kind of color. It was weird.
it was
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the color.
Ew.
it was the DSi that scrapped the whole thing of the Game Boy Advance. And I was like, well, that's stupid. Like, why would I want to get the
DS
light? Not light. The
That's the one
the
that had
eye.
the camera.
Eye.
Yeah,
Yes, it had
the one that had the
had the
camera in the
camera.
middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
And the
never.
microphone. And it had all those games where you'd like blow at the screen, it would do stuff. I remember that
I
one.
mean,
My brother had that one.
I mean, you still had that with the normal DS one because I remember. Wait, did they have that with the normal DS, or maybe I had to do that with 3DS?
There was a lot of stuff that involved the camera and then the new
Yeah.
sensitive microphone that they had right next to the camera.
Yeah, but then they scrapped the whole thing of the Game Boy Advance, and that was like, important to me because I wanted to be able to play those games that I still had. Yeah. But with the DS, I think one of my favorite games that I did play on there was on the DS. What? Hold on. Let me make sure it was that.
But my question is, was the 3D part of the 3DS really worth it compared to the 2DS? Did you ever slide it and make it 3D?
I did not. I think I did it to look at it. I'm like, this looks weird. It's not really much of a 3D, so I turned it off.
I remember a lot of my friends saying it gave them headaches and they never used it. I enjoyed it for all of like a week, and then I just never used it again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My favorite DS game was Pokemon Soul Silver. And that's my favorite Pokemon game. It was just so good. I remember just spending hours, like, I think I would be at my dad's house. I would just spend hours in my room just playing the game, like, all day. Just going through, leveling up Pokemon. I just had so much joy that I don't get the joy of that with the new Pokemon game. It just doesn't feel that gap. I don't know what it is.
Okay, but I want this one. That's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty, but
So sad I sold that.
we never played it.
Man. Well, maybe I would be playing it today if I still had it.
What are you even talking about?
A 3DS.
The 3DS.
Okay. Jeez.
Look, we'll just download an emulator for you, and you can play them.
It wasn't even the games I cared about. I don't know what games I played on there.
So yeah, I'm looking over some of the games on the DS. So there was Super Mario 64 DS, where you were able to play as different characters. I had that.
See, I had Mario Kart.
I had Mario Kart DS. That one was fun. I had the new Super Mario Bros. I think I did play did I play this one? Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. I don't know if I played that one or not. Can't remember. Pokemon Platinum. I did have that one. There's another Zelda one. Spirit Tracks. I don't think I played that one. I don't remember much about it. If there's any of these games that you played with, you could say. Did I ever play the Mario Party on the DS? I don't think I did. Obviously, I did play the Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. I know there's a lot of good games on the DS, but there was I just didn't play all of them. And there was some Final Fantasy. There's Dragon Quest, Harvest Moon. I know people talk about that.
To be perfectly honest, ever since the DS came out, I've pretty much only used DSs for Mario games and Pokemon games.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I think if I ever, went back and got it, that's what I would get it for. Maybe some Legend of Zelda games that I don't know if I played or not. But, the classic Nintendo games that they have. Mario, the Pokemon, and then, Zelda, all those.
Yeah. Fire Emblem, they've got some good Fire Emblems.
Yeah, which I was very sad, because the other day whenever I looked up Fire Emblem, and I was like, I looked up on the Nintendo store, and it showed that I could buy Fire Emblem, the one for the Game Boy Advance, on the Nintendo store, but you can only buy it for the Wii U. And I was like, what the crap is this? Why on earth can I buy it for the Wii U and play it on there, but you haven't moved it over where I could, buy it on the Switch? I feel like all these past games that they've had, they can easily, put it on the Switch.
Yeah.
Like, let me go back and buy some of those games so I can play them. Like, the Switch is capable of doing that.
Can you get, like...
It's like, hey, that's more money, Nintendo. Like, that's what you like money, right? People would buy it. I would buy the two Fire Emblem games I played on Game Boy Advance. I would buy the DS one, the Shadow Dragon. Yeah, I would go through those. I would buy them.
Play Pokemon Crystal.
Yeah,
on the Nintendo Switch.
let me play. Yeah, let me play some of the let me play Pokemon Soul Silver.
We do have some pretty awesome Pokemon games coming out now that are
Yeah,
like not Pokemon games.
yeah. I'm glad that I'm happy that they're branching out to other things, but
MOBAs, multiplayer games, open
yeah,
world stuff. It's finally where we wanted it to be when we were kids.
yeah. But I'm still sad, and I know I said this before with the whole Pokemon thing, that they changed like from that top down view, where you move around like that. It's more of like the third person view, especially like the newer ones. I just don't really like the style of that. And I've told people before
Yeah,
that if they would have just kept that like top down view, and if they just upped the graphics to like what the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, that remake that they did or remaster for the Switch, that like claymation type thing and move around. If they did that like art with the old Pokemon games, I would love it.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I will say, I think it was oh, I don't remember which ones they were, but the Pokemon games that were in Alola, the Alolan region.
Yeah, I never did. I never did play
That
that one.
angle, I think, was the last one that I was like, this is okay, because it was still mostly from above. It was a little angled, but it was mostly from above. So I still liked that one, but yeah, I know what you're talking about, especially the new games where it's just straight up from behind. It does make for some cinematic bits in the game where you're like coming up on a city and you're like, "Oh, this is really nice," and things can kind of generate over the horizon.
Yeah,
I get why they did it. But yeah, I'm 100% with you. I like the Pokemon games. Those style, the traditional, like you
hmm
start with your starter and you go out and you play the Pokemon game.
yeah,
Yeah, I prefer them being top down.
yeah,
Now, if they do the open world, like multiplayer and like all that kind of stuff, it'd be cool to do third person or
yeah,
heck, even first person. Um, and then obviously for Pokemon United, the MOBA that's coming out, you gotta go at least a little overhead for MOBAs.
What's the new ones coming out? Was it like Crystal? Not Crystal. Is it? I don't remember.
Crystal, if they're remaking Crystal,
It's not Crystal. What is it? What were the ones? I didn't play them. Diamond, Diamond and Pearl remake. Is that what? Yeah, yeah, that's the one that's coming out. That one has similar to the art style that I was kind of saying. Those
gotcha.
remakes. Like I'm looking at one now. The thing, like they still have like the cinematic. I think the cinematic like battles, but the art style I think is what I would have preferred. Like they kept that top down the overhead view. I mean, I wish there was more pictures.
You know what handheld I played a lot of other than this?
3DS.
No, when
Oh.
I was younger. That was college. I mean, that was younger than I am now, but that wasn't my childhood. Yahtzee. They had like a little Yahtzee that was like
Oh yeah.
smaller than this, but like same thing. You could only play Yahtzee on it.
I thought she was about to say like one of those gigapets or whatever.
No, I did have one. Um, but yeah, just played a lot of Yahtzee on that thing. I'm sure they had other ones that. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't like only Yahtzee, but that particular one you could only play Yahtzee on.
Now,
Pretty sure my grandma had a solitaire one.
Yeah, I'm sure there were several other like the classic games on there.
Yeah.
now there was another handheld system that I did have. I did not play much of. I didn't play as much as I thought I was going to, but I like that I did get the handheld, and it was the PSP,
Yes.
PlayStation
Yes.
Portable.
Yes. Yes. PSP was so far ahead of its time. It's
Yes,
ridiculous.
yeah. I I only had a few games on there. Um, I'm even looking. I know I had Star Wars Battlefront on there because this was, I think, still around the time where Star Wars Battlefront 2, the OG one, was around, and I played that one a lot. And I was like, oh, I want to play this on the PSP. I had that. I also, I'm looking to see. I think I had a football game because back then I did play some NCAA football. And I think that I had that on there, and I don't know if I played that one as much. Like they just weren't as good as what you would play on the console, but it was just nice to have. And you could also buy movies for the PSP and watch them that way. Because I had a friend who also had one, and he had a couple movies. And I remember before like a wrestling tournament where he pulled out the PSP and like we put in a movie and we were watching it. So
Now, you can claim that the consoles may have been better than the PSP. However, I will say the PSP had internet connectivity built in, which, like, that didn't happen in consoles for a long time afterwards. So the fact that you could connect to the internet with your PSP and then play people online with your PSP, I think some of my first like gaming outside of going to my dad's house to play on like PlayStation 3 and stuff, like some of my first internet gaming was actually playing like Twisted Metal Black, I think. No, one of the Twisted Metals and a few of the other like random games that I had on PSP online. It was awesome. It was pretty freaking fantastic. There was also a Grand Theft Auto game that I had for my PSP, and I pretty much exclusively played online on that, and that was really great. Um, there's just like there was nothing wrong with the PSP other than I guess it just didn't
it
sell
just
good enough.
it was.
Like
And then, but
I don't understand.
the thing is, like later, Sony came out with the PS Vita, and
And
that
I didn't get a Vita.
I didn't either.
It just seemed like a lesser version of the PSP in my mind because the PSP was so good. It was just so freaking good.
Did Xbox have anything like that?
I don't think they ventured into handheld.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Microsoft has gone into the whole handheld gaming console thing. I know that they have been involved in some handheld stuff, but I don't know if they've directly produced things like under their own, you know, Microsoft handheld. Um, because there's already a lot of handhelds that deal with PC type things. Um, they probably won't be doing that, but it would have been cool to have an Xbox handheld back in the day. That would have been interesting, but I don't think they ever did that.
And imagine that now, like with the Game Pass. And
well, you can.
Now you've got stuff like the Stadia and Nvidia Shield.
Yeah,
and
that was it. The Nvidia Shield.
Random, handheld games that you can just connect to your PC.
Yeah.
And since now you have, your Game Pass and all that on your PC anyways, Microsoft it would be a dumb decision for them to make a handheld with all of these pre-established handhelds being able to use their games.
Yeah.
I didn't know these other
unless
things.
they did something special.
I didn't know these other things existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think handhelds are as popular nowadays. Because one, you have the Switch that's very popular, but you can consider that
and
both.
Our phones are so powerful now.
And
it's basically a handheld gaming.
Indeed. Like people play Fortnite on their phones.
Yeah. I tried that before.
I don't know.
No, Fortnite does have it on their phone, and I tried that a couple times. I didn't like it.
It's not on Apple anymore because of that whole
kerfuffle.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. if you still had it, but they weren't supporting any like new updates to it.
Yeah.
So.
And then heck, last night, Lindsay saw a TikTok.
Yeah, so it was this TikTok about like
90 90s games that like that we could have played when we were younger, like on the computer.
It's basically like a whole minute of nostalgia.
Yeah. And there was one that Lindsay got so excited for and saw a comment that it's in the like Apple Play Store or whatever it is or whatever.
App Store.
Yeah, Apple Store, and she went in on her phone and paid $5 for this game.
No. I paid $4.99.
Okay, she paid $4.99. Sorry for me, adding that penny.
How dare you round?
And she bought this game that she beat in, I don't even know how long, like 30 minutes or something. So,
what was this game?
Putt Saves the Zoo.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair.
Do you remember?
I never played it. I never heard of it.
I have to go through some of the accessories that were available for the PSP. I know like we haven't really talked about many of the accessories for the handhelds. But there's some really cool ones here. Yes. So we've got a stereo dock, that's whatever. But we've got a GPS receiver, right? So you can use GPS type equipment for your PSP. You've got a TV tuner, which allows you to have an actual TV antenna that like moves and everything on your PSP. That's pretty cool. There's a camera, sure. There's a motion sensor for I guess there were games that allowed you to do workouts with your PSP. That's pretty fun. The extended battery, which was the exact same size as the PSP, so it doubled the size of your PSP and made it last forever. And that looks like it. But I didn't know there were that many accessories for the PSP. I never had like a single accessory except for the fold down like plastic cover that protected the screen. That was it.
I just had a case.
Like, so, that's pretty snazzy.
I feel like we forget about the accessories that come with the handheld things. Like they're very forgettable. But or not, I wouldn't say necessary. Like, worth getting.
And just to mention it, there was a GameCube battery pack, but it wasn't by Nintendo. It was by a company called Intech, and it provided your GameCube with up to 2 hours of gameplay without being plugged in. So that's pretty cool.
When did the PSP release?
2005.
Well, see, with all of that, that's basically like a smartphone in a way. Like before, like the first Apple iPhone was released in 2007.
Yeah, like Will said, it was ahead of its time.
I mean,
people did not appreciate it for what it was. And then like now if you look at it, like if people would actually go out and look at it, be like, "Oh, wow, this is something that we had, a couple years later."
It's still so like iconic and classy. Like so sleek, the clear like plastic
yes,
it was so good looking. It's like one of those random things that we look back like thousands of years ago and we're like, how did they make something like this? It's like a lost technology. Like, how did we make something like that back then and then just lose that? It's just gone.
And then I guess maybe Sony just decided, like, hey, these other things are getting popular. Like, this was very similar to what we had with the PSP. Let's come out with the Vita. And I know they had some cool things with the Vita, because it was something dealing with the PS4. I think if you had the game on the Vita and the same one on the PS4, you could stop playing on the Vita and continue playing on the PS4 and vice versa. Like, from where you left off. I think that was something
and
that they
had. Sony also have their gaming phone.
Wait, what? They had a gaming phone?
Yeah, I think it was Sony, but there was a gaming phone that did not sell well, and you like folded it out and it had little like wasn't joysticks, but there were round little metal things that didn't move, but it tracked your fingers' motion. Kind of like the Vita.
Xperia Play. I don't know how you say that. Xperia. Xperia.
let's see. Xperia smartphone with
Xperia,
elements of
yeah,
a
the
handheld
Xperia.
console produced by Sony Ericsson.
Yep, that was it.
Huh.
Wow,
What
that
year
was
that?
when did this come out? Because I feel like this was first released in 2011, so 10 years ago.
And that one did not sell very well at all, but I thought it
Man,
was pretty neat.
I guess Sony was just not having a good time with their handhelds, even though it was like, I guess
They
ahead
were
of their time.
innovating with
Yeah,
their
I
handhelds, like
know.
really innovating.
Did the 2DS have internet connectivity? Or the
If
DS?
I mean the
I know the
I feel
3DS
like,
I
did.
mean if the
I feel
3DS
like
did,
most
then the
DS
2DS
did.
would, because the 2DS came out a little after the 3DS.
Did the original DS?
The original DS? No.
I don't have enough battery charge in this.
I don't think it did.
Okay. I was just wondering.
It may have. I don't remember. Yeah.
Speaking of that, though, remember when you had the not smartphone and you accidentally pressed the internet button and
Yes.
you freaked out
Yes,
trying
every
to
time.
close it?
Every time.
Because your parents weren't going to pay for that.
Oh, gosh.
Good times. Kids these days will never know.
Oh, man. I don't even... I'm trying to think if I had any more stories with the DS.
See, I
Or
didn't...
with the handheld.
As we've mentioned before, like, my childhood wasn't all about gaming. And so, other than taking my Game Boy Color, which I'm sure I took it on vacations with us,
Mhm.
like, why wouldn't I? But I don't really have, like, any other childhood gaming stories. I played outside.
I played outside, too.
In terms of like handheld games, and especially the DS, I know for me and quite a few of our friends, um, we didn't really have a whole lot of high school handheld gaming, but as soon as we got to college,
Yeah.
it was like a really big thing to go and pick up a game and start playing Pokemon. I don't know if that was like a thing everywhere, but our friend group certainly did it.
Yeah.
Like everyone just got super huge into Pokemon right after high school.
I mean, I know in high school, I still played Pokemon. Like, I would get the new Pokemon game, and it just seemed like it was that time, which the Pokemon games normally came out in March, what it seemed like. Because me and my friend Cody, we would get it, and we would do the thing of we get a starter Pokemon, go trade it, start over, where we would each have all 3 starter Pokemon.
And you had the 2 different versions.
Yes. We
I have a
would.
very sad story from a mail-in story about that.
But yeah, like that's something, and that was like most of the time when I would play the handheld was that time with the whole Pokemon, and then
So
I
y'all get
wouldn't
'em for
really
your
play
birthdays?
it. Do what?
Would you get them for your birthdays?
Yes. It's either that or we would I maybe end up buying one or something. Um, I mean, probably would get money for my birthday and then go out and buy it, but
Yeah.
I would play it, for the 20, 40 hours or whatever gameplay that you would get from the Pokemon games, and then it wouldn't really be until summertime when I would actually play the handheld games again when I was traveling and stuff. But that's most of the time, most of it like in high school of my handheld experience.
Mm-hmm.
What was your story? I'm curious about this.
So the mail-in story from a loving viewer, when they first got Game Boy back in the day, him and his brother both got a Game Boy,
Mhm.
Pokemon game. They were super excited. They did not get separate Pokemon games. They got the same Pokemon game, and they didn't get a link cable. So they got to have the exact same Pokemon experience without being able to trade Pokemon. And even if they did get a hold of a link cable, they had all the same Pokemon.
Hmm.
So let that be a cautionary tale to all of you young parents out there. Buy the different Pokemon
Yeah.
games.
At least they didn't like only get one cartridge and had to share.
Oh, that
No,
I
yeah.
mean that would have just been
That's a whole
terrible.
nother that's a whole nother issue.
But I can totally like imagine a parent being like, "Well, the game, it'll save on yours and it'll save on yours. You just switch back and forth."
Because back then, like I know the Super Mario Brothers Deluxe game, you could have like 3 save files.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like the games like Pokemon, then I mean, it was the
Pokemon
one.
It was just one.
Yeah. I mean, even now on the Switch, you can have different profiles on the Switch.
Yeah.
So you could have different, if we had one Pokemon game, you could do it, and then I could get on online and,
That's one thing that maybe Game Freak's been behind on a few things, but that's a pretty major thing that I feel like they could have done a while back was here's an extra save file. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of
At
sucked
the
because
very least.
you couldn't, like, you had to finish the game before you could let a friend borrow it.
Yeah, and some of the
Like,
games were really long. Like
yeah,
second gen games, which were my favorite, they were 2 games in one. You had to get
like
16 badges and beat the Elite
yeah,
Four multiple times. Like,
Silver and Gold,
yeah, silver, gold,
which I
crystal.
said, Soul Silver was my favorite. Yeah, that was a long
Yeah.
one. Let me just go in and
2 full regions to explore.
Soul
16
Silver,
gems, and then more, including the
Soul Silver and Heart
martial arts
Gold.
gems.
With just main story was 38 hours. That wasn't enough. You grinded out some things.
Way longer than that.
Yeah. To complete everything was 221 hours. On a hand, yeah. I think I put in about 80 something. Because main and extras average about 72. I think I did about 80 something with Soul
that
Silver.
makes sense. If their like main story is just getting to beating the champion,
Yeah.
what was his name?
I don't
Dragon
even
Boy?
remember. I don't remember, but I know that I grinded out like some different Pokemon, leveled it up, and then tried to level up as much as I could to go face Red at the top of the mountain, and still could not beat Red because my Pokemon still weren't strong enough to beat his frackin', which Red was Ash
Because
basically.
there were no other like trainers who were in that level. You had to go from fighting the Elite Four at like levels 60, 70 to oh yeah, here's a level 100 Charizard.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It wasn't that bad, but
yeah. Yeah, I think I did 80 something hours in Soul Silver, which is probably why it was just such a good one. Like the 2 regions to go through and all that. It was so good.
yeah. My, that was a tangent.
I mean, I think we even talked about facing Red in our like boss battle episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did.
I mean, that was always just a surprising fight of how freaking tough it was.
Yeah. Oh. All right, sweet. Well, if that's all that we have to say, I mean, I'm done with talking about the handheld stuff. I think I said everything I wanted to. Lindsay doesn't have a lot of experience. That's okay.
Yeah, I think we've covered most of my favorite handheld gaming type things. I'm sure that I know for a fact there are plenty of other handheld devices that we didn't talk about.
There was one I remember getting. It was the Game Boy Advance SP.
Yes.
And that was a
The little square one.
Yes. And there was an accessory, because you brought up accessories, and I just thought of this, that for me it was a must. Because, the SP, it was kind of like the Game Boy Color, it was kind of,
The extender.
yeah. I got the controller extender thing, where it was like you're holding a controller, but yeah. That was like a must. After I got that, I was like, oh man, this is great. This is so much better.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like, this width. But then with the extender, it went out like a little bit more. It was great.
As someone who's been over 6 feet tall and rather large since he was 12, that tiny little Game Boy SP was not cutting it for me.
Let's see what it
That's why I
is.
went straight from the Game Boy Advance to the Nintendo DS. That's why I made this switch.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, the whole thing is like
Yeah.
only, it's like this same size as the controller for the Switch now. I mean, that's advancement for you.
Yeah. But we are gonna just go ahead and move on to our nostalgia game of the week. This is where we spin a wheel that has a list of games that give us that nostalgia feel. And we're just gonna talk about whatever it lands on. And if you have any suggestions for it, please go to the Discord and go to the podcast section. And there's a text channel. It's a nostalgia game suggestion. Just put it there. And this week,
Yeah, I feel like this whole episode's been nostalgia.
Yeah.
Chocobo Racing. Is that how you say it?
Chocobo?
No, Chocobo Racing. Chocobo Racing. I don't think I've ever done this one. I can't remember who suggested this one.
That was 100% either Alex or Cody, because Chocobo Racing is it's based on Final Fantasy, the little Chocobo chicken boys.
Yeah. Chocobo. Yeah. I mean, it could have been someone else. Because I know there was one person that gave like a big list. I've never played it. I want to look it up right now, though. It was from the PlayStation game. It was just PlayStation 1. Whoa.
You had like all these little characters that had their own vehicles.
So it's like Mario Kart, but not.
Yeah. Like you had like a chubby bird on a bike, and a little chocobo that I think skated. Yeah, skated. And each, like, you had all these different powers, and I think there were possibly some like actual vehicular combat elements to it that were a little more intense than Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I unfortunately didn't get to play this much as a kid.
I didn't play it at all as a kid.
What did it come out on?
PlayStation 1.
Yeah. My PlayStation 1 died when I was like 10. RIP.
I didn't play a single PlayStation until the 3. Right, because you had a 3.
Yes, it did.
When I first met you.
Yeah. But yeah, that was an excellent game.
Gadgets throughout the game to give you power-ups. That was it. Gotcha. Okay. What a game.
All right, but now we're going to... I mean, do we want to talk about what we've been playing?
I mean,
we can...
I don't have anything to say.
I mean, I can just quickly say that I played The Pathless, and I beat that the other day, and platinumed it. It was an easy platinum. You get most of the trophies like through the story. There could be a couple that you need to go out and get, but yeah. I started the Walking Dead Telltale series. I started the first episode of that. And a couple people told me that in the first episode you go through the most annoying like puzzle that there is on there, and I was getting annoyed, and then I was just annoyed of what I had to do and then what happened. It was just, yeah. I don't want to spoil. I mean, the game's been out for a while. Basically, I was at this one place and I needed to get the keys, and then I had to go over to a different place, to a motel. And at the motel, we basically had to go and save this girl who, what's his face? I don't remember, Glenn or something, was just simping over. And then turns out that she just killed herself.
Well, because she was about to turn.
Yeah, she was about to turn, but, I mean, well, she said, well, my boyfriend, and then as soon as she said boyfriend, he goes, oh, you have a boyfriend? So he was just, yeah. I was just so annoyed. I'm like, we went through all of this, and she just end up, I was like, oh man, this is annoying. So, and then yesterday played the new Mario Golf game.
Yes, we did.
And I was playing some of that this morning, having some fun. Lindsay almost beat me. It was very close.
I am so impressed with myself. I thought I was going to completely be terrible at the game. But I was winning for most of it. We were tied, or I was winning for most of it. And of course, at the end, he came back and won. But I like it.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it thus far.
Want to try the different game modes a little bit more. That's a lot. It's fun.
And there's like a campaign, sort of. There's a story mode.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of doing this morning. You go in, you have your me character, and you're going through and basically going to be trying to rank up your me character. You get to put, experience points in different things, like how far you can hit the ball, control, spin, your stamina, how fast you can run, and all that stuff. So,
and then I think after you complete that, then you can use your me character in the other game modes.
Yeah, so, but yeah, and then also mostly been playing Raft, but I mean, I want to let Lindsay talk about that some more. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I did play some more League because there was an event going on, and I had to get like 30 games of match-made games of League in to get something, or like you get the orbs for that event, and then like a box thing to open. So I finally finished that earlier this week. Sweet. And I don't remember what I got. And I learned that it's just better, because with those orbs, those event orb things, that if you have like, 100 left or something, and you can turn those into like blue essence or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think it's like 10 for actually I don't even know what it is, but I was like, there's still some champions that I don't have, so I always go and it's like 50 of those orbs and turn it into like a champion shard or whatever it is. And I always would open that up to see if I would get a champion that I don't have that I can pay less blue essence for. Mm-hmm. And if I don't, then I can get a frac ton of I can get like a lot of blue essence for it. So I think whenever that happened, I got a Wukong. I already had Wukong. So I turned it into blue essence, and it was like 1,000 blue essence or something like that. And I'm like, man, this is so much better than just turning those orbs into the blue essence itself. Because they're
into blue essence.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just going to keep doing this. So. But yeah, and then
if I'm ever at a point where I just can't get any of the good stuff, I'll go for shards or key fragments, because key fragments are also extremely good.
Yeah,
they're very cheap.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess I'll let Lindsay talk about Raft.
Yes, I mean I played Raft this week. I think. Did I play anything else this week? Monday or Tuesday?
I don't even think. Did we play Fortnite? Oh no, we did play Fortnite some. That was earlier in the week, Monday or Tuesday night.
But I bought Raft on Wednesday. I wonder how many hours I put into it now, because before yesterday I'd already put in 20 hours. I don't know, we've already beat the story thus far.
Yeah, it's not a complete story. Again, there's like we complete chapter that was chapter 2 that we just finished. So we're waiting on 3. It says I have 54 hours into Raft, but I've also played Raft outside of that.
Yeah.
So
it's filling my Minecraft void. But it's been I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I bought it. It was a little bit on sale. I think it's still on sale. It's $13.99 on Steam. Yeah, loved it. I bought Sea of Thieves yesterday. Haven't started it yet, but I am gonna play it
because she wants to do that Pirates one.
Let me know what you think. Yeah. I may do the PvE stuff. because it's PvE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't be
I know
interrupted.
someone in the Discord last night said something to me about the new one, the new DLC, and she said that it has some bugs. And I was like, I mean, I feel like that's going to happen with like something brand new like this. There's going to be some bugs there, but
Yeah. Like PvE that you can't be interrupted in is already such a huge
Yes.
improvement over normal Sea of
Mhm.
Thieves that I wouldn't mind a few bugs. Like if it's like, oh, you got to go hunt this dude down, take his flag. If you take down his ship and the flag doesn't show up, like that could be a bug. Like I don't care. I'll go hunt down another, random CPU character.
yeah,
Like little bugs like that, I don't mind. But when it's 4 hours of being chased by
Chased.
some trolls,
that's
Mhm.
where it's
Please.
like, that's where it's like no fun.
Yeah. But so I wanted to finish the story part of Raft before starting Sea of Thieves, but we finished that last night. Still lots to do on our raft though. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So that's it for me.
Sweet. Well, I guess we can move on to the new segment.
Biddy-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Welcome to Out of the Box Gaming News with Lindsay Picard.
No, this is
Not-
Minecraft. Let me start over. Minecraft Sonic DLC Pack lets players collect rings, dash past obstacles, defeat bosses, and build momentum in the Green Hills Zone and Chemical Plant Zone while playing as iconic characters like Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. A bug in the latest update for the PS5 version of Marvel's Avengers accidentally showed the player's IP address and username on screen. Big whoopsie. The Nintendo 64 turned 25 earlier this week. It was first released in Japan on June 23rd, 1996, alongside Super Mario 64. Also, Sonic the Hedgehog turned 30 earlier this week. It first hit the Sega Genesis in North America on June 23rd, 1991, spawning countless games, TV shows, movies, and so much more. A special Blue Eyes White Dragon card was almost auctioned for $13.4 million. The card was housed in a special Yu-Gi-Oh! 20th anniversary frame and is one of only 500 made. And 343 head of creative Joseph Staten said he wants players to feel at the very heart of the Halo universe during the first season of Halo Infinite's multiplayer mode, which will be Reach themed. Oh, and there's one more. Ubisoft has removed the GoldenEye 007 mod from Far Cry 5, citing a takedown request from MGM. Back to y'all.
Wow.
Um,
There's a lot to unwrap there.
so I did not realize a Yu-Gi-Oh card could almost be auctioned off for that much money.
I have a
I'm-
lot to say about that.
I'm over here
Um,
thinking that the Black Lotus from Magic the Gathering was like the most expensive like playing card out there, but this almost auctioning off for millions of dollars?
So the almost auctioned off thing is what gets me. Like, why was it not auctioned off for that much?
I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense. There's only 500 made, meaning that there might be even fewer out there now. Like, there are more Black Lotuses out there than 500. We know that. So it would make sense that this would be worth more than a Black Lotus. It's
Well,
not as powerful as a Black Lotus.
is it
because Blue Eyes
saying-
White Dragon is just not a good card.
Is it saying that the card there's only 500 made, or the 20th anniversary frame is there only 500 is made?
The card.
Oh, the card.
So from what I've got, because they do this kind of stuff pretty regularly where they will release special cards in frames and there will only be a certain amount of that card in
in
those
the
frames.
frames. Oh, okay.
So this Blue Eyes White Dragon was probably some very special alt art, likely some kind of foil that was then put into a special 20th anniversary frame. So both the card and the frame are special. They put them together, and this is the card and the frame together. And there was only 500 card and frame combinations. So, it could very well be worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
On that note, however, The Kaiba Corp Grand Tournament is happening this year, and they are about to go into the grand stage or the main stage tournament on July 17th. And the um, reward for this is going to be one of, I think, four limited edition cards in cases. So only four, I think it's Blue Eyes White Dragon and then Dark Magician are the two cards that they did this for. Only four of them are made. And they're going to be given to the top three people. And I'm not sure where the other one, it might be like auctioned off or something. But yeah, they've been doing stuff like this where they just make what is essentially a insane collector's piece. Kind of like how rich people are like, I like this piece of art. That's
Yeah.
like not really a piece of art. It's just kind of like that's a thing.
Yeah.
But they'll spend millions of dollars on it. That's kind of what I envision this as, but it's really a prestigious thing because to win this specific card that I'm talking about, you have to be one of the best duelists in the world. I'm not sure how people got this card though, because it's just a 20th anniversary Blue Eyes White Dragon.
So here's what I've read more on the actual article. So, and this was from IGN. The card in question previously belonged to someone whose name I will butcher, Zhang
Let's not dock someone.
Yuji, who was sentenced to life imprisonment last year due to embezzling millions of, it's not yen, it's YUAN. I don't know that currency. I don't think that's yen. Anyway, from a government fund. This is...
Oh. And it...
this is in China. And so because of his life sentence, all of his belongings are to be auctioned. So what happened was, I guess people heard about this card. It hasn't been authenticated yet. According to this, that released the 23rd of this month. So, earlier this week. It had not been authenticated yet. The Chinese court canceled the auction for his possessions after public bidding reached an unexpected $13.4 million. It's believed that the bids are an attempt to win a rare Yu-Gi-Oh card that is among the possessions. And the card and frame were released in 2019. But it's one of 500 limited edition cards that were released in 2019.
Okay.
So it was
rare.
part of a lot that was almost auctioned off for that amount.
I guess so.
I feel like that's a very
But
important
the card
Yeah.
is currently valued at between $31,000 and $46,000.
Still a lot of fracking money for a card.
Yeah,
So,
still quite a lot of
yes, but that's why they can't, because it got up to $13.4 million, and it's not worth that much.
The dude was embezzling monies, of course.
I mean,
of course, his possessions are worth money.
Who knows what else he's got in
Yeah.
that stack?
Yeah.
So it says the price is seriously inconsistent with the actual bidding price, and malicious bidding behavior is suspected, according to the auction platform. So yeah, that's the lowdown on that.
I'm gonna have to do some research because that is just. Why would you say no? I would take the money. It's an auction house, right? They just have to give the money back to the government and take their share, I would assume.
I don't know. I guess they just suspected foul play from it somehow.
Interesting.
But it said, what is it? Well, and their currency, it's more. It's 87 million of their currency. $13.4 million. So their currency is worth more.
Jeez.
But yeah, more than 18,000 people bid on the card in a matter of minutes. Yeah. There's the backstory on that one.
Well, happy birthday to Nintendo 64 and Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the whole thing with Halo, Halo Infinite, their first season pass. I don't think I ever played Halo Reach, because that's what it's themed. The season one's going to be is Halo Reach themed. I don't think I ever played
Reach
Reach.
was definitely my favorite.
Which one was Reach?
It was the prequel. It was the prequel one where
Halo Reach.
the Covenant starts their invasion, and they launch the tower. Which I'm
2010.
forgetting the name.
Came out in 2010. Can you tell me more about, like, what was so special about this one compared to the others that it made it seem like this Halo Reach was the favorite out of all the Halos? Because, I mean, even
For
those
me,
things...
I absolutely love the story way more than the others. You didn't play as
Master
Master
Chief.
Chief or whoever you played as in ODST. But
I
you
played
played as just a random Spartan who joined an elite Spartan squad, and every character was very much unique. So you kind of started to gain like, I really like this guy, I really like this guy. Like my favorite character was June, who I forget his call sign, but he was the sniper.
Okay.
And he always provided Overwatch. You hardly ever saw him, like, because he was always somewhere sniping dudes in front of you. But the characters, the character development, the story, just the cinematics, just that part of the game was my favorite by far. The online has gotten mixed reviews. I think a lot of people didn't like the multiplayer because it wasn't like Halo 2, which had like arguably the best multiplayer. But I still loved it. The customization of the armor, you could create like the most amazing Spartan armor, in my opinion, in Halo Reach. So that's why I really loved it. So
Okay.
that makes me happy, but I still don't think this game's ever coming out. So
Fair enough. Then we got a big oof there on the Marvel's Avengers
Oh, yeah.
PS5 version. What are you doing? You're
Like,
are you
the
trying to make this
So
worse?
I guess it was just like a bad bug for anybody that streams it. I don't even know who all still streams the Marvel Avengers. I know there's probably still some people that do.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, that sucks. And I think they put a thing out saying, do not stream this until we fix the bug.
yeah. Imagine the people who don't realize that that's their IP address up in the corner.
Yeah.
It's like,
hey, what's all these numbers like, and why is my username displayed? I mean, or I guess their actual name or something. I mean, my name's fine. People know my name. What are these numbers? And they just keep going.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Oh shoot. Yeah. But we are definitely running out of time. So
Hope you guys have been thinking about that trivia question because it's time to hear our answers.
Yeah.
Lindsay?
So my question wasn't gaming themed. It was Starlight Children's Foundation themed because that's what we are about today. So my question was, how many smiles have been delivered since the organization began in 1982? So how many children have they been able to help and bring smiles to through the gaming and the hospital gowns and the VR that they've got going on?
I have no idea, so I'm just going to throw out a number.
Give it to me.
34,586,292.
I was over here just thinking 34 million.
Hey.
Y'all on the same wavelength.
Yo,
there,
that's
I
crazy.
see.
I'm just saying
What's your
34
answer?
million.
Okay.
I'm not going to be that specific.
The answer is 17 million,
Oh, okay, we were going too high.
which I thought was still very
yeah.
impressive. And then y'all completely
Well,
overshot it.
I think I was just taking in account the amount of years that
Yeah.
it's been, and I think that's why I bumped my number like really high.
But
I'm
if
sure they've provided far more smiles than that.
Yeah. That they didn't like, maybe like they missed, like they turn their back and they just see a kid smile and they just that's what it was.
But then also like, and I'm sure if they could, I don't know if they're looking to expand, because I mean 800 hospitals is a good amount, but if you think about, I don't know how many there are in America. I have no clue. You would think there would be more than that, but of course they're focused on the children. But I don't know. But I think that's awesome.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. But we are going to wrap up this episode, and we want you to be able to contact us and check us out on other media platforms. But first, we want to make sure that you are able to check out Starlight Children's Foundation to see the amazing work that they are doing over there.
Exactly. The Starlight Children's Foundation has been providing gaming opportunities and comfy and colorful hospital gowns for seriously ill children since 1982. We just talked about, over 17 million of them. If you would like to be able to read more about them, or if you'd like to be able to make a donation at a later date, you can head over to www.starlight.org, and there's a donation button there. There's tons of information, there's videos you can watch, and you can see exactly what they are doing.
And now, Will, where can the listeners find us? Well, we've got our handy dandy link tree, which is at OOTB_gaming. Inside there, you can find our Discord, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, pretty much anything that deals with us. Also, check out our Patreon and all the fan-diddly-tastic perks that you can find there. We want to give a huge shout out and thank you and big ol' smooch to our Collector's Edition Patreon, Cody Watkins, also known as Kitsune's Myth, also known as Papa Fox. We love that guy. Yeah, check him out. Say hi to him if you see him in chat.
And also with Patreon, it does give you extra entries to our quarterly giveaway. I know the past couple weeks we've been saying that we're going to get, say something about this, and we're planning on getting games together today, and we will make a post, hopefully, if not today, tomorrow. And we will, definitely figure out who the winner will be.
It's okay. I think we went a little into the next month.
Yeah, we'll go a little into the next month. It's perfectly fine.
It's cool. But you'll find that, or it'll actually be happening in our Discord. It'll be posted on other social media, but the way you enter is in our Discord. I really liked how it went last time. Got to be more specific. Only react with one reaction.
Yes. You
can only enter once, unless you're on our Patreon and you get extra entries.
Yep. If you want to find me, you can do that by going to YouTube, Twitch, or Instagram at AceKing, and Twitter's AceKing77.
Please make sure to leave a review on our podcast on whichever platform you found us. Leave a like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. As always, thank you so much for listening, and please join us next week.
This has been Out of the Box Gaming with Nick Picard, Will Kinsey, and Lindsay. Thanks for playing along.